Xi Jinping. And we have also welcomed the presence of a lot of state leaders of those CELAC states. During that meeting, President Xi Jinping declared that by this forum, we should improve the cooperation between China and the CELAC states. Now, in a minute, we are about to have the opening ceremony of the second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum with 33 CELAC states and China. We will give you a very brief introduction. Today is the 22nd of January. And later we'd like to show you more details about this opening ceremony of this China-CELAC Forum, the ministerial meeting. The ministerial meeting will last about half an hour, with the presence of the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and the other foreign ministers of the region. They will also visit a photo exhibition. At noon, foreign ministers relevant will hold a press conference together to share with the globe the outcomes of this forum and the ministerial meeting. We have witnessed that most of the foreign ministers are already present at the site. And this event has attracted the attention of the local media for the second ministerial meeting. After the 19th CPC Congress, it's an important moment for China to continue its cooperation with the CELAC states. The second session of the forum is a great platform for us to draw experiences from the past and also open a new page for the future of cooperation, as we mentioned before. This forum has been established upon the proposition of the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now we have the arrival of the President of Chile, the host country, and Mr. Wang Yi, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, to the right hand of the President of Chile. The opening ceremony of the ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum is about to start. During this ministerial meeting, Foreign Minister Wang Yi would deliver the congratulations from Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, as we can see, all foreign ministers and government officials are watching a video on the screen, a presentation on the host country, Chile. By this introduction video, we can have a better knowledge about the geographic conditions of Chile. It's a country with a very long geographic form, a lot of production of copper. And from this video, we can see a lot of characteristics, the capacity of agricultural production and fruit capacity of the country Chile. Now, the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum is about to start. Now is the welcoming speech from the Chilean Foreign Minister. Before the opening of this session of China-CELAC Forum, our site has also interviewed the Chilean president. As we know, the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum has a theme as the Belt and Road Initiative, more cooperation of win-win results to benefit the people at both sides. Guided by this theme of the topic, the Belt and Road Initiative proposed by China has been given a lot of focus and attention. And this initiative is very well accepted in this region. This initiative was proposed by President Xi Jinping in 2013. After more than 4 years of development, the Belt and Road Initiative has been upgraded from a concept to a pragmatic program. Last year, by May, we have held the Summit of International Cooperation of Belt and Road Initiative in Beijing with the presence of a lot of state leaders, among which 2 presidents from the CELAC states. One is the president of Chile and the other is the president of Argentina. A lot of Caribbean countries and Latin American countries, including Chile, have supported this initiative since its birth. Right before the opening of the Summit of International Cooperation in Beijing for the Belt and Road Initiative, I interviewed the Chilean president. The president said that the Belt and Road Initiative is a great opportunity for development. And according to the Chilean president, this initiative has strategic importance for the CELAC countries. I may need to lower a little bit my voice because the meeting is on the go. Now we are at the site of the opening ceremony of the second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum. We still have the Foreign Minister of Chile giving the welcoming speech. And the theme of this second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum, as we mentioned before, is Belt and Road Initiative, a shared destiny. After the proposition of this initiative by President Xi Jinping, we have interpreted this initiative from words to real actions, which is very well accepted by CELAC states. Latin American countries and Caribbean countries, they are the natural extension of the Belt and Road Initiative, and they are the indispensable part of the realization of the initiative. President Xi Jinping has also very warmly welcomed the countries in the Latin America and Caribbean region to participate in the realization of the Belt and Road Initiative. And today we can see that there is a great popularity of this initiative in the region. The second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum, we hope that it could be a good start for our cooperation in the new year 2018. And it's a practice of high importance. A lot of countries in the region are now willing to sign contracts and agreements of cooperation with China in the framework of Belt and Road Initiative. And we'd like to exchange more opinions on the improvement of global governance. Now let's talk more about the topic of the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum, Belt and Road Initiative, a Shared Destiny. From this wording, shared destiny, we can tell that it's in correspondence with the suggestion of President Xi Jinping upon the construction of a community of shared destiny. And this idea has also been written into the Charter of the UN and is well accepted around the whole world. And President Xi Jinping has visited this region for 3 times, for Peru, Ecuador, and Chile in 2013. President Xi Jinping has suggested that we will be willing to set up a community of shared destiny with Latin American and Caribbean countries. And this time we have made the thing of the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum as Belt and Road Initiative Shared Destiny. It's actually responding to the suggestion of the Chinese President Xi Jinping. And how could we be in correspondence with the realization of the initiative Belt and Road? This is one of the important topics during the ministerial meeting. All relevant parties have already reached an important consensus on that.
Dear viewers, here is the CCTV's live streaming in San Diego to broadcast the second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum. Now we're focusing on the opening ceremony. We have 33 member states from the CELAC and also China's senior officials to stay here to have this meeting. And we see that the President of Chile is also on site. I just introduced the importance of this meeting. For this ministerial meeting, it was the first time to have it in Chile, because the first ministerial meeting was held in Beijing. Now it's a time for a new relations built between China and the CELAC countries. In the past few years, we understand that some of the product prices has been dropped in the past few years, and also the trade has been reduced. However, the trade volume has reached to $260 billion, which has a 16% increase over the past few years. And also, China is the biggest trade partner for some of the Latin American countries, for example, Brazil and Peru. And some of the industry structure has been changes over the years, and we have a multidisciplined cooperation with Latin American countries. For example, not only trade, also economic, sports, tourism, and other aspects. And for such a forum, the policymakers can review what we have achieved in the past and to plan the future. And in due course, the policymakers can make some changes for the future actions. Before the meeting, we also interviewed the Foreign Minister of Chile. He also thinks that it's a historical significance of this second ministerial meeting. And he also mentioned President Xi Jinping's remarks in the 19th National Congress. And he insists that we should not protect the barrier, and we need to continue the sustainable development and to invest in the infrastructure. And the foreign minister said that President Xi Jinping's directions is in line with the trend for the direction for other Latin American and Caribbean countries. So for this meeting is actually under the framework of the 19th National Congress and also the Belt and Road framework, and hopefully can draw a blueprint which benefits both sides. We also talk about the theme of this forum, which is the Belt and Road, and build a shared destiny and benefit people from both sides. So the goal for the theme is to benefit people for both sides. This is also in line with President Xi's spirit, which is to build a community of shared future. So it will be a consensus between different foreign ministers that how can we build a successful community with shared benefits and a shared destiny. Now we can see that. Now we're having this opening ceremony for the second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum. And we're delivering the first-hand live streaming of this opening ceremony. We have mentioned two initiatives from China, the Belt and Road and Construct of the Community of Shared Future. For these two concepts, actually, President Xi has delivered these two concepts in many key meetings. And also, we receive a lot of consensus from Latin America. And actually, this ministerial meeting is also initiated by President Xi, and over the 3 years, there's a lot of achievements. After this opening ceremony, there will be an exhibition to show the achievements in the for the China-CELAC Corporation. China's policy is helping us to form a tighter relationship with the CELAC countries. In the past 3 years, China has proposed a lot of pragmatic ways for cooperation. Under the framework of the China-CELAC Forum, the goal is to strengthen the cooperation between China and CELAC countries. And we also propose a framework of 1 plus 3 plus 6. 1 is the cooperation plan. 3 represents the 3 drivers that we are working with: trade, investment, and financial cooperation. And I just mentioned that the trade volume in 2017 is $220 billion US dollars, which has a 16% increase. And Latin America has become the second biggest trade partner for China. So China and LAC countries have a very good tight foundation for the trade cooperation. For Latin Americans, they will get more of the exported industry products from China. And we saw Foreign Minister Wang Yi was in the opening ceremony. He's about to deliver a speech, and we can see that the audience are listening to Mr. Wang Yi's speech. Even though China and CELAC countries have a geographical distance, but they have a very close cooperation. But our goal is to bring benefits to the two sides of the people. Chinese people would love to work together with the CELAC in order to build a community of the shared future. So the Minister Wang just saying that both sides will help to build the community of the shared future. And we understand that this kind of concept has become a highlight for this forum. So we'd like to open a new chapter for the cooperation between China and CELAC. Let's start the journey and start a bright future. In the end, I wish a successful meeting. That is the congratulation note that was sent by President Xi. So Minister Wang just read through the congratulation note from President Xi, and in the note we can see that President Xi also hope that this meeting can be held successfully. In the past 3 years, we have built the framework, the structure for this forum. China has 2 times of a Quartet meeting. Every year we have the national coordinators meeting. In the different areas, we have cooperation, for example, the political sections, infrastructure, information technology, and more than 10 areas of cooperation area. Mr. Wang Yi just summarized what we have achieved in the past 3 years after the establishment of the forum, over 10 areas of cooperation. So China's initiatives has become a big part for the cooperation between China and CELAC countries. And we just mentioned that the trade volume is over 270 billion in 2017, and which has a 70% year-over-year growth. And for Latin America, it has become the second largest trade partners for China. And also, China is seeking for cooperation with Latin Americas for the industrial capacity cooperation. And the trade structure has been optimizing. Many of the good agricultural products also sold very well in China, especially in Chile. And also we want to talk about Chile. So instead of Thailand and Vietnam, Chile become the best exporter of the fruit to China.
Today in Chinese domestic market, we can find a lot of imported agricultural products and fruits from that region. Now globally, China has proposed 2 ideas which are both very well accepted. One is the Belt and Road Initiative, the other is the idea of constructing a community of shared future. Those 2 ideas are also very well accepted in the CELAC region. That's why we have taken that as one part of the thing of the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum, because it just matches the idea that China has proposed in the past. Regarding the China-CELAC cooperation, we have already put in place some suggestions from the side of our country, for example, the 1+3+6, and also the plans for the cooperation on production capacity. All those plans and measures are going to help us to optimize the structure of our industries. When mentioning financing, we'd like to brief to you this information. In CELAC regions, we have more than 2,000 Chinese enterprises, and CELAC region has become the second largest destination for Chinese FDI. And with a lot of CELAC states, China has signed agreements of the currency swap agreements. And we have also cooperated in the establishment of the Infrastructure Investment Bank. Since we cannot go into many details, especially for the photo shots, we can only provide it for the moment, the footage of Foreign Minister of China, Mr. Wang Yi. Dear viewers, now we are in the capital city of Chile, Santiago, and we are briefing to you the details about the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum. Now we have the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi giving the speech. We have signed intergovernmental agreement with more than 20 states in the region. And we have helped to create more than 200,000 job opportunities for local country regions. We'd like to build this forum into a platform connecting different continents, bringing into full play the potential for cooperation. We are offering to the whole world the public goods. We will never bring us into conflicts. We always prefer negotiation when dealing with different opinions. A common construction of the community, it means that each party would take advantage of their own strengths and bring it into full play. We will widely open our arms. Ladies and gentlemen, China agrees that we cooperate with the CELAC countries for a new consensus, and we'd like to inject new vitality into our partnership and turn a new page. First of all, we have a good historical foundation. For several times, President Xi Jinping has mentioned the Belt of China and the natural extension of the Belt and Road Initiative till Latin America, starting by the Fujian province and then through the Pacific Ocean. We finally got to the Latin American region. That is the Maritime Silk Road. We have this history of trade in ancient times. The boats of China traveled through the blue oceans. Dear audience, you are now watching the opening ceremony of the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum. We have now on the screen the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. He's delivering a speech. We have the stakeholders and government officials from the 33 member countries of the CELAC Foreign Minister Wang Yi has first of all transferred the message of congratulations of Chinese President Xi Jinping, and then he has expressed the opinions that the Belt and Road Initiative is now very well accepted in the region, and through the opening of this forum, we are going to reach more consensus. Now, the opening ceremony of the second ministerial meeting is on the go. At the very beginning, we have had the welcoming speech from the Chilean president, and now we are having the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. For more than 3 years after the establishment of this forum, we have obtained a lot of positive results. The mechanism have been improved, and projects of financing and investment have been realized, and a lot of exchanges, people to people and in the cultural domains. And now we'd like to invite you to visit in advance an exhibition. As I mentioned before, after the opening ceremony of the second ministerial meeting, the government officials and state leaders will go together to visit this exhibition. So we will first give you a glance at this exhibition of photos. And by those photos, we can have a better understanding of the results yielded over the past 3 years and more. This is a photo exhibition on China-CELAC foreign cooperation. After the end of the opening ceremony, the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, together with other state leaders and government officials, will also come here. And now, together with me, you can travel through this exhibition. August 2015, the opening ceremony of the first ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum. From the photo, you can tell the presence of a lot of presidents and important government officials. Some more photos to show the high-level visits between China and CELAC states. For more than 3 years after the establishment of the forum, the dialogue has been very smooth. We have also the photo showing the dialogue of foreign ministers. And by June 2017, China has set up the diplomatic ties with Panama. And President of Panama has also made an official visit, a state visit to China, just after the closing of the 19th CPC Congress. With the Panama President, we have signed the Memorandum of Understanding for the cooperation of Belt and Road Initiative. And the President of Panama has also declared that they'd like to contribute to the realization of the initiative by using their geographic advantages. From this part of the exhibition, you can see how we can make our ties closer. In São Paulo, in Brazil, we have set up a cooperation fund with a volume of more than $20 billion. From those photos, you can already tell the sound development of China-Brazilian investment exchanges. And Chinese investors have gained strength in the CELAC region. A quite typical example here in Ecuador. A center of public service. This center has played an important role during one big earthquake in Ecuador. And some more examples for the scientific cooperation. By October 2017, in Zhouquan, the satellite center, we have helped to bring one satellite of Venezuela to the space. And some other examples for the cooperation of high-tech products, like high-tech trains, high-speed trains. Those products have been introduced by countries like Argentina to improve the daily life of the local people. Apart from cooperation in political, finance, and infrastructure, we should never lose sight of the people-to-people cultural exchanges. Now, in 16 CELAC countries, we have already established more than 30 Confucius Institutes and 16 Confucius classrooms. We have also held the China-CELAC Leadership Forum. An important example of the media cooperation between China and CELAC states. This is a very good memory of myself. I was there during the visit of President Xi Jinping in Peru in 2016. The couple have attended the closing ceremony of the China-Latin America Year of Cultural Exchanges. And also the exhibited heritages, two more interesting photos. The knockoff of the plane plans to deliver rescue materials by the Chinese government to Ecuador after the earthquake. From another photo, by September 2017, a lot of CELAC countries, especially the Caribbean countries, have suffered from the hurricanes. For example, the Trinidad and Tobago, and also the Dominican Republic. After the disaster,
so our camera team also attended this rescue event. We also see other photos here. You can see the statue of the Confucius. Now it's in Brazil. Through these photos, we just have a quick review of the achievements that we have for the past 3 years. We have 17 sub-forums covering over 10 cooperation areas. And also we can see the financing projects has been going well in the past few years, covering over 80 projects. In China also, invited almost 100 officials to come to China for a visit, and offering 400 opportunities for the on-the-job master degree. So except for the trade, financing, and investment area, we can see a lot of achievements in the people and cultural exchange. So all of these events can help Chinese people and people from the CELAC countries to know each other much better. We can see that the time for the Ministerial meeting for this China-CELAC forum is a little bit longer than we expected. You can see there's a lot of information for this forum. Prime ministers from different countries just gave speeches in the meeting, and I just show you all of these photos to explain what happened in the past 3 years. So we know all of these achievements. And at the beginning of the broadcasting, I just mentioned that it is a historic moment that we have this second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum, because it is the first ministerial meeting after the 19th National Congress of CPC. And in this meeting, it will review what happened in the past, and also will continue the discussion on how we can achieve consensus to continue our efforts with the Belt and Road initiatives. And at the end of this live broadcasting, I would like to share some comments with you. After the 19th National Congress, we have entered into a new age. In the future, we want to understand what are some of the new opportunities and challenges for China-CELAC relations. Let's go back to the ceremony. The President of Chile now is delivering a speech. The Chile president just mentioned that China has reached common ground with CELAC countries on a lot of topics. For example, the global warming, the climate change, and the trade. And during her speech, she also mentioned that between China and CELAC countries, we make commitments, and the CELAC countries would like to work with China under the framework of Belt initiatives, and hopefully we can reach more strategic cooperation. Now we go back to the photo exhibition. The photo exhibition is looking to the past. But in addition to this, I would like to discuss with the viewers what are some of the trends for the new age. All of these opportunities are related to the economic changes in China. And President Xi Jinping just mentioned that the Chinese economic structure has changed to domestic consumption and innovation. In the 19th National Congress of CPC. And I just mentioned that Latin America has become the second largest partner of China. And I also understand that China will host the first imported merchandise exhibition in China. Instead of a exporter, China will get more import merchandise from other countries. So Latin American and Caribbean countries will sell more merchandise to China. For example, Chile. Chile is the first country that signed a free trade agreement with China. And in 2017, we have a revised agreement with Chile. So the free trade agreement between China and Chile will become a sample for the future cooperation between China and other CELAC countries. Under the agreement, some of the products are tax-free. So in 2016, Chile has become the country which exports more fruits compared to other countries such as Thailand and Vietnam. For example, cherries is one of the typical fruit that we imported from Chile. Except for Chile, we also want to talk about Peru, because the export rate can also reach to 17%. During the industrial restructuring, China has issued different types of cooperation framework to work with CELAC countries. For example, the 1+3+6 framework, and we also have the cooperation fund, which help to boost the cooperation between China and CELAC countries. So later, the foreign ministers and the senior officials will visit this photo exhibition in a moment. Another trend I want to mention is that through the initiatives of Belt and Road, we are trying to get the CELAC countries to be involved in the Belt and Road. And in Chile, also want to build over 2,000-meter cable, which connects Chile and connects China and the CELAC countries. From the screen, we can see that the opening ceremony just ended. In a minute, the China-CELAC Forum officials will visit the photo exhibition and have a group photo. I just walk you through some of the new trends that we have between the cooperation between China and the CELAC countries. For example, the imported products that we will get from the CELAC countries. And also, China established the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and the BRICS Bank in order to help more international cooperation with the CELAC states. Dear viewers, now we are in Santiago of Chile to give you a live broadcast of the second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum. Now is the opening ceremony, and we can see several foreign ministers has come to the stage for a group photo. So at here we would like to end our live streaming. First, I would like to summarize the live broadcasting. At the beginning, we showed the opening ceremony of the meeting. And the theme of this meeting is Belt and Road, with more innovation to build a shared destiny. For the thing, shared destiny actually is in line with President Xi's concept, which is to build a community with shared future. And for this meeting, leaders will discuss how we can better cooperate with each other. And the goal is to reach consensus between the foreign ministers and senior officials from different states. And we can see that this kind of that shared destiny concept has gained support from overseas countries, including the CELAC countries. And we have different kind of cooperation framework, the 1+3+6, which is 1 plus 3 cooperation drivers, trade, investment, financial cooperation. Now we have entered into a good stage for the financial cooperation between China and the CELAC countries. And China has set up the exchange center, exchange bank in Chile and Argentina. And we also signed local currency exchange agreement with some CELAC states.
For the energy resources, agriculture, science and technology, innovation, and also people-to-people and cultural exchanges, we have progressed a lot, especially for agricultural cooperation. Chile is a typical example. Last year, Chile has surpassed Thailand and Vietnam to be the largest supplier of agricultural goods and fruits for China's importation. Just now, we have already brought everyone to have a first glance at the photo exhibition. Over the past 3 years, a lot of achievements have been made, including the multiple times of high-level visits by the state leaders and a lot of programs, mechanisms of dialogues, and humanitarian assistance. Everything's being covered by the photo exhibition. And also some excellent examples about the human exchanges and cultural communication. And altogether, we have also concluded the new tendencies for the future cooperation between China and the CELAC states after the closing of the 19th CPC Congress. We are now organizing the second ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Forum, during which we have concluded the success that we have obtained in the past 3 years and also make forecast about the future and also elaborate plans for the coming cooperation. Later, the Santiago Declaration would be made, and also a joint action plan to guide our cooperation in the next 5 years. In the new era, between China and CELAC states, what are the new tendencies of cooperation? First of all, China's economy has entered a new stage of development. We are more focused on the domestic demand. And secondly, we have enriched the imported goods. And for the first time in history, we will hold an exhibition of the importation. And this event is very well accepted by the CELAC states because a lot of them are heavily relying on the bulk commodities. And a lot of agricultural products and fruits like the quinoa, blueberries, cherries, etc. New plans would also guide us to change the structure of our trade and also help us to optimize the cooperation in the production capacity. And thirdly, the Belt and Road Initiative and the interconnectivity improvement. And now we can see the arrival of the Chilean president, the Chilean foreign minister, and the Chinese foreign minister just after the ending of the opening ceremony of the second ministerial meeting. Now all the government officials are taking a group photo together. Just now, a lot of foreign journalists are inviting the state leaders and government officials to say hello and to wave their hands. Now it's the end of our live stream. And we also have a lot of colleagues from other countries recording this historical moment. Now the leaders and officials are about to visit this photo exhibition. We have already accompanied you to visit this photo exhibition, so we'd like to close this live broadcast. And thank you for your attention given to the second ministerial meeting of China-CELAC Forum. We have just accomplished a group photo taking. And before that, a short visit with the photo exhibition. Now we'd like to wish you everyone good night. Thank you.